Your eye on, dear?
It's on.
It's on. We're
It's
good to
already
go. All righty then. So, welcome.
Yes, welcome to week 5. I'm just looking at the screen. Scott's still got a spelling mistake on his quiz.
Oh,
But
do I? Oh,
we can have a debate as to whether you've spelt it right or wrong.
double Z.
So today we're going to go through a quiz, just go through some, I guess, questions around metabolic balance, but also looking at the new year as well, where obviously I feel everyone's crawling to the end of this year at the moment. And obviously we've got Christmas to come, we've got all those celebrations, but then January, it's normally that renewed, excited next part to the year. So we're going to go through something talking about New Year's resolutions, goals, and intentions, and why I do one over the other, and there's no right or wrong to this. And then we're also going to be sharing a bit of a journal that we use as well.
Yeah. So, let's get into the first question, which is a toughie. We need our phones. I need my phone. Is that my phone?
Okay.
I need to go get my phone. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
You can just scan the QR code.
Okay.
But you can.
I've got the QR code, but I can't
So
see one again.
We all obviously have to wait so that Karen can definitely tell us what the answers are, but I'm sure we can give it a go. So yeah, just tap them in. Doesn't necessarily matter if you're right or wrong. It's more about participation. Actually, I've only given you 3 words. So collectively, we're going to have to define the Metabolic Balance 8 rules. There's a fail for me straight away. That was good, wasn't it, dear? So let's go. And once you've got your 3, you should be able to press submit and they should all appear on the screen. Hey. Seeing some ones come in there. Apple a day. Yeah. And then
Water, balance, consistency, discipline, regular intervals. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right. Here I come. Okay. How are we going, dear, as a team?
Okay, so tick on the apple a day.
Well done, team.
Oh,
different protein per day. Millie's come in from the side.
Well done.
Nice.
Millie. So different protein, yes, per day, but per meal. Eat the meal in an hour. Yes, that includes tea and coffee. So if you have tea and coffee, that needs to be within your eating window as well. Water, yes, you need to drink the amount of water. You need to finish before 9 o'clock. You need to have a bite of protein first. I think the ones that we have, so 3 proteins per day, 5 hours in between.
Oh, so Millie's just come in with the 5 hours in between.
Oh,
nice
well done,
job, Millie. Yeah.
So yeah, we've got the different protein per day, different protein per meal, no snacking. That's right. So the 8 guidelines, 3 meals a day, following your plan or whatever stage you're at. After each meal, taking a break of at least 5 hours. That can be longer if people need it to be, but 5 is ideal. No meal to last longer than an hour, which we've got. Always eating a bite of protein first, which we've got. We've got the single protein per meal and 3 different proteins throughout the day. Not eating after 9 o'clock is great. Drinking your water and having an apple.
Good job, team.
Well done.
Well done. No water during the meals. Can we have water during the meal?
You can have water during the meals if you want water during the meals, but during a meal, you should only be drinking if you feel you need it.
Okay. Good job, team. That was the warm-up. So that was the first question. Good to see that everyone's in and active. So we're just going to pop to this one. Let's see how much water we should be drinking each day. What's everyone's thoughts on this little guy? Maybe this could be like groupthink after a little while. People will look up and go, "Oh, hey, I know which one to press now."
So you
Yeah, it's
get
going
all
to
the
help me if
answers
I get
first.
stuck on any of them. I'll just look at the screen.
Yeah, yeah. Is everyone still working okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Millie says 2.5.
so 2.5. So based on your body weight, but yes, 35 mils per kilo of body weight. So a lot of the time when you start the program, your weight maybe your water amount can be different to the water at the end of the program, depending on if you've lost weight, if that was one of your goals. I still aim for, so although when I started my program, I think I lost about, I think it was about 15 kilos. And
just a quick mention, Delulu. Sorry, Lyndall, to interrupt here. But absolutely don't be answering the quiz if you're driving your car. Thanks for pointing that out, Lyndall. So that is okay. You can get a free ride, and I'll just tick you at 100% answer rate. So sorry, dear.
Yeah. So I still aim for my original water weight. Even though I've lost weight, I still keep it at that same, because I know that any additional that I drink helps me to feel more hydrated.
Cool. Actually, I'm just going to pop back one just so that Lyndall can either scan the code. So Lyndall, you can scan the QR code, or I've put the link in the chat group for you again. Cool. I got a +1 and a giggle. So very good, Lyndall. Well done. Very responsible driving. Just like Bluey, we practice that as well. So very, very good. Okay. So water-wise, I think we're all sorted there on the water. What about sport? Dear, what about on these super hot days?
Yeah. So sport, definitely you should be increasing your water over what you're drinking on a day-to-day basis. Now, there are calculations for those that are really into the sport and they're training hard. And a way that you can actually calculate, Katie, I assume you probably know this as well, water weight through exercise. So number of ways, but probably the most simple way that is the easiest to be able to calculate yourself is that you weigh yourself before you exercise. You weigh yourself at the end of the exercise. You look at your difference in weight, and then that is the amount of fluid loss that you need to be increasing by through that exercise. Is that the same calculation that you would do, Katie?
Yeah, generally, I would also say plus about another half litre. So if you're another little bit, just in case, kind of to be careful. And then the other way that you can also do it, obviously, you might not always have access to the scales. There's a calculator online. I can send it through in the chat, and you can actually put in like what you're doing, the amount of time that you're doing, and it'll give you a rough estimate with your body. I'll find it now and pop it in the chat, or I'll pop it on a card actually, so everyone can see it.
There you go. Well, what's the definition of sport though? Like if you're going for a hike.
So I would say anytime that you are exercising outside of your normal, and especially in this weather when you have excess sweating as well. But probably the thing to remember with that is that when you sweat, you're not just losing water, you're losing sodium, you're losing magnesium, you're losing potassium, you're losing all of the electrolytes. So when you're rehydrating, my recommendation would be to use an electrolyte solution to replace that fluid. And that can be something like Bassica, which a lot of people use and have had, which is an electrolyte solution. Coconut water is also a good electrolyte. It doesn't contain the balance that we always need. I think it's a little bit higher in potassium than the other nutrients, but you can use that. And you can also use pure mineral water as well. So not soda water, but pure mineral water, because it contains minerals as well. But again, you might just need that little bit extra. And because of this humidity that we've got, how much people are sweating, like signs, if you're feeling you're getting cramps, if you're sleeping at night, you're getting restless legs, those sort of things, that's a good indication that you need to increase your electrolytes.
Okay. Cool. EO. All right, everyone, ready? We're live again on the interactive Hoosier Me Watsits. So hopefully everyone can interact there, confirming that I'm no longer driving. So Lyndall, there's no excuses now for your and I think that everyone's on trend.
No,
I can answer
Krista.
through.
can I just ask? I'm not sure how to answer this. How do I make it happen?
You click true or false, Robin.
But with, okay, I'm clicking.
There's a little button at the end. There's a little circle. Just tap on if you want the circle where false is or the circle where true is.
Yeah, I've just done that. Can you
And
see?
then click submit.
Oh, where's that?
Oh, you should have a little submit button. You see mine. So I've got a submit button. That's
Should I be on the phone as well?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't used the internet. Hopefully let me double check the
Did
internet.
you scan the little QR code?
I'm on
No,
the
'cause I was
internet
on-
one as well. And if you just to the right, there's the little grey box. If you press false, there should be a submit bit underneath. I'll pop it in the
That's a
chat.
good question.
so you can
I'm
see.
driving on my phone, to be fair. You able to
Let me.
Thanks, Robin. We'll get that
On
cleared
mine,
up.
it's to the
No, I
right.
don't know where to do it.
That's
I'll
all
just
right.
listen.
Let me have a go. Let me
Should
have a-
I might need you put on my phone, maybe easier.
Okay. All you got to do with your phone. Let me have a look. I was just going there. Yeah, okay. That's my web screen, but
Oh, hang on, what's that? That's where I should be, the submit button, is it?
so you should have a submit button just there. You don't have
On the
that?
screen, on the
Yeah, I've
big
just
screen?
gone to the, yeah, you should have on this side over here, you should have true, false, and just that submit button there. But if you don't have it, for a bit of
No.
fun, I can go back and, you know how to scan a QR code, okay?
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, let me present here. Sorry about that, everyone, bit skippy there. Let me go back. so
Sorry,
you can-
everybody, sorry.
That's
No,
all
don't be
right.
silly.
No. All right, QR code's there for you, Robin.
Yeah, got it.
Got it? And
Yeah.
that will take you to, now everyone's probably gone back. Some questions, facilitators change slide, don't press the skip ahead button. Okay, so can you see that now? Okay, Robin?
Yep, got it.
Got it? I'm thinking, will I do that just to throw the cat amongst the pigeons? That was me. That's not really true, is it, dear?
No. So the
No.
answer is no. We don't want skipping any meals at all. I do get a lot of questions around the social side of things. So I've been out for a really big lunch, which was bigger than I expected. It went a lot longer than I expected. I've come home and I just don't feel like eating. What should I do? The answer is if you really don't feel like eating, if you are absolutely full and there is no room, then don't eat. It's not one of the guidelines. We don't want that to be the case. We want you to be able to have a smaller meal at that lunchtime so that you've then still got room for that meal in the evening, but don't force yourself to eat as well. Other times I've had people that have gone, I went out in the evening, I had way too much, I indulged too much, had dessert, got up in the morning and just couldn't face eating. Again, once is probably okay. You just don't want to make a habit of it. Your body is like we're like a car. We need fuel to get metabolism working. And if you don't eat, you're not going to be putting that fuel in you. So the body's not going to work.
It's better the analogy than just feeling full and therefore I won't because I feel full. You've depleted the energy there. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Karen,
Yes.
question, does that cover the fasting side? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. So in the guidelines in Metabolic Balance, like if you read the folder, it talks about having a 14-hour fast once a week.
I have read that. Yeah.
What that really means is finishing your dinner early and starting your breakfast potentially a little bit later. So it doesn't really mean skipping a meal.
No. Okay.
Men can fast a lot more successfully than females.
Isn't that
Their
interesting?
bodies can adapt a lot better to that. So I find that sometimes men who do that morning fast don't tend to have the impact, but females that do that fasting, the body tends to shut down and holds on to a lot more. So you just need that extra regulation.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Okay, so some answers have started to flow through on this one, but you've got a little talk about New Year's Eve resolutions and intentions, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yep. So with coming in around that new year, for many years I did this. I set a New Year's resolution. It's like, yep, come January the 1st, that's it. I am going to give up X, or I am going to exercise every day, or I am going to not buy any clothes, which would be Scott's happy place if I actually said that.
I'm just answering my things.
But what happens with resolutions? So I think the statistics show that 8 out of 10 resolutions will fail by February, because we tend to set
80%.
80%.
Crikey.
So we tend to set unrealistic resolutions. Sorry, the cold is affecting my brain. To get up on January the 1st and go, that is it. I am going to go to the gym every day and I am going to work out every day. And we start getting into our day-to-day routine, life kicks in, work kicks in, everything else kicks in, and we find that we just can't maintain that. And what happens is when you've set this resolution and gone, I am doing this every day, as soon as you can't do it one day, it's gone out the window. It's like, oh, well, I've done it now. So resolutions are a really interesting, it's probably more a play on words, because I think there's other ways and better ways to actually rephrase it. So not only can we do the resolution, but you can also then consider whether you want to set a goal or whether you want to set an intention. And the difference with those, so a goal, it's breaking down into probably smaller measurable outcomes. So the same as SMART goals, and pretty certain that everyone's worked with those SMART goals. They have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be realistic. So setting a goal could be something like, my goal is to go to the gym twice a week. It's not a resolution. It's not saying that if I don't do it, I have failed. It's just, that's my goal. That's what I want to do. A goal could be even saying, okay, in June, July, I'm not sure when it's on, I'm going to run the Gold Coast half marathon. So you've given yourself something that you can be specific about, and then you can work bit by bit towards it. And if you miss a day, if things don't go the way they're supposed to go, then it's okay. You just pick up the next day. Exactly the same way I feel that metabolic balance works is, if something doesn't go to plan, that's okay. You just come back and then you go back to it again.
So kind of hearing that a resolution is, I will go to the gym 4 days a week and, blah, 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 lose 4 kilos, 10 kilos, whatever. But what you're saying with the goal is, I'm going to go to the gym at least 2 times per week, but it's still specific enough.
It's specific.
And I'm keen to lose some of my body weight, but fat over muscle.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what about then the intention or the
So an intention
theme?
is really
Intention and theme, are they kind of?
Yeah, so it's more, an intention is more about a principle. So it's aligning with your values.
Yeah.
So my intention is to pay more attention to my exercise next year.
Yeah.
My intention is to be the best version of myself in 2025.
That's not possible, dear.
Oh, thank you.
See what I did there? I thought that was good.
Yeah, well done. So the intentions are things, and the other thing I would say with all of these, and especially resolutions, it's like, why does it have to be January the 1st?
Mm-hmm.
Why does that clock strike over and go, okay, I've got a New Year's resolution? These are things we should be thinking about all the time.
Yeah.
So if I kind of go, okay, next year I want to run the Gold Coast half marathon, which I am not planning on doing, but say I did.
You got it recorded.
I could start that now. I don't need to wait until January the 1st to do that. So it's really kind of about so one of our goals, like Scott and I were talking about this, one of our goals is to play golf every week. We'd like to get out and play golf every week. Now that realistically, that's not going to happen. Like every week, it's just weather's going to impact us, life's going to impact us. I'm sure injuries are probably going to impact us. We can't seem to get more than a couple of weeks without that happening. But that's our goal. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of that change on that wording around those, and not necessarily waiting to that specific day. But what I would say is, if you are setting goals, just really make them realistic. Don't try to push yourself out of your your comfort zone as to what you're doing. You don't have to go from saying, okay, I am going to go to the gym 5 days a week when you're not going to the gym at all. Don't go and buy that gym membership in January. Gyms absolutely love resolutions.
Yeah.
They love 80% of people failing on them. They've got your money and they've got you tied in. I think I looked once at the statistics in gym memberships, and gyms make pretty much all of their money in January that can then sustain them through the rest of the year on minimal signups.
Really?
So they know that they've got this. They will start their what is it
Membership
they
drive.
do? The membership
Campaigns.
drive, but their campaigns that they do, because they know
Yeah.
that people are going to drop off. They oversubscribe and all of those sort of things. So
Interesting.
it's really kind of looking at those.
Which probably lends itself into, I'm just going to forward the quiz here, another page. Let's see. We're talking about the 5-minute journal. So maybe before you answer, and you're welcome to answer the next quiz question.
We can't see who answers what, by the way.
Yeah, and it's anonymous. Yeah, that's right. So have no fear about that. Actually, it's probably worth, Katie, just on those three different intentions, what were they, goals and resolutions. Do you or have you experienced other ways to go about achievement or change and improvement, I suppose, when you've come across in terms of your clients and working with exercise phys?
I think
Goals?
with exercise, there's two really big things that were stand out from what Karen said, but also kind of to elaborate on that. With the biggest thing was with the goals, setting check-in times. I'm huge for, if I don't have a deadline for something or a date for something, it kind of goes off and doesn't exist. So having a 3-month check-in with yourself, for example, so not everything has to be done in January, but having a check-in every 3 months to reassess and reevaluate your goals, similar to what you would do with your metabolic balance in terms of checking where you're at, deciding if you need another detox, seeing if how you're going with the plan, seeing if you need to go for a check-in with Karen, doing any of those things. Doing that with your own goals and setting time aside to sit down with yourself and say, right, is what I'm doing still attainable? So where we've kind of spoken about the goal of going from 0 times a week at the gym to 5 times a week at the gym, you might start, your first goal for the year could be to go to do 2 home workouts a week. And then in 3 months' time, the idea of doing just 2 home workouts a week seems completely easy. You go, I could do 7 home workouts a week. That's completely sorted, tick, big tick for that goal. It doesn't mean you stop there. That's where you can reassess that goal, reset a new goal, and kind of like, I suppose, kind of just reevaluate where you're at. Like, your life changes so frequently and so much happens and you come across all these challenges. So setting that time aside, I always do every 3 months with I literally have a reminder in my thing. It always gets postponed, but I do have a reminder in my thing. And I will check in every 3 months or so, or during big life events or when things happen where I feel like I need to. The other thing I like to do, it's part of that SMART goals system, it's the accountability and making them attainable. So ensuring that you kind of have someone to either hold you accountable or do it with. So doing it as part of a community. So with exercise, finding a group to exercise with, finding people to share your exercise with, whether it be in this community chat, whether it be to a family member, to go on a walk together, just any to hold you accountable. It's the same with most things, but as soon as you're held accountable for something, it can really help to work towards that goal. But they're the 2 biggest ones. But everything that Karen said that applies to diet as well, to metabolic balance, also will apply to your exercise goals as well.
Yeah. Which actually lends itself quite good into this next topic, which is journaling, I guess more broadly. But for me, I'm quite a prolific journaler, always have been. But a lot of people that I've talked to have tried journaling, and it's not really their thing. Or the other one's meditation, I guess, and really it's this practice around reflection. And so, in order to basically reassess, or like Katie has said, or reflect back on the year that's been, and reflect on a daily basis as to how you're progressing, I find that reflection is actually a really fantastic tool to couple with that goal-based orientation, which is what Katie's saying. Whereas I do almost micro reflections every day. So where I literally I take some of the 5-minute journal principles. So I'm not sure who's heard of the 5-minute journal. It's pretty popular nowadays. It became popular actually a few years back. And it is actually in a book journal form. But which you can buy. You can also, and I'll just show you and share on the screen there. So hopefully those who are on your phone and no one's driving. But it's a very simple journal format. And the whole idea is in less than 5 minutes every day, you can journal. Now, the true 5-minute journal has a daytime, a morning time, and a nighttime. So you reflect in the morning and then you reflect at the end of your day. And you'll see in a bit with the questions that are answered, it's super simple. In this particular template, you write down a cool quote that you find. I used to actually Google, super quote on abundance if I was thinking about abundance or fitness and those sorts of things that would keep me kind of motivated on that. And then I would just, and the psychology's proven, the positive psychologists have proven that if you express your gratefulness, even in a journal form, that you will actually become more positive, or you will actually get a feeling and generate more positivity. So writing down what you're grateful for, and we've obviously done that in the little word cloud, so we'll reflect on that a little bit. But that's just, basically you do start your day with a little bit of a smile on your face just by doing that. Then you can sort of set some intentions as to what would make today great. And these are kind of mini goals of the day. Wouldn't it be really cool if I won lotto? I mean, it doesn't have to be serious.
You have to do lotto to win lotto.
We do have to do lotto. We don't do lotto, but if you did, but it could be like today I did a golf lesson, which was really cool. So I actually wrote
did
that
two,
today.
actually, just saying.
No, I went to a physio and I did a golf lesson today. So those sorts of things. And then I am affirmations are actually quite an interesting topic in positive psychology and psychology in general, which is where you're affirming your future state basically and this one's kind of interesting. I found when it came to reflecting on affirming when you're making health changes. So affirming that I am the healthiest version of myself. That sort of affirmation at least plants a seed that today you're going to, do your very best at maintaining your health. You can obviously get quite specific with these ones as well, but I've always found that just an affirmation has always really helped me along the way. And then finally, your nighttime reflection. Oh, okay. So this particular format has your nighttime reflection on the same page, which actually I think the real version does as well. To say the real version, I've actually taken this from the web, but it's pretty close. So that's pretty good. So at night, when you're in your wind down sequence, which we've all known about due to the cards, and I don't know who of you have a nighttime focus reminder on your phone. I do. Mine kicks in at 8:15 every night, and I start my wind down to decrease screen time and just chill out a bit. That's the time where you can just reflect on the day. Now, I must admit, in all confession, I only journal once a day. So I actually reflect on the day in the morning after, if that makes sense. But there's a lot of research that says if you do it at night, you're kind of reinforcing that gratefulness and what you're trying to achieve, and you'll sleep on it. So I might have to try that. That might be one of my my intentions in 2025. I'm going to do nighttime journaling. So quick tidbit on journaling. So hopefully you guys got a little bit out of that, and good to see gratefulness. This is a pretty happy cloud that I'm looking at now on my screen. Hopefully you guys can all see that. Yeah, my family and friends, family, how good. My veranda view, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we got a pretty nice view as well. Dog is absolutely in there. Exercise, my health. What a cool bunch. So I think there's heaps to be truly grateful about. All right, moving right along. Oh yeah, so on that 5-minute theme, who's doing what tomorrow to make it great?
Okay.
All right. What's tomorrow? Thursday. Oh, we're past hump day. Now, sometimes this stuff's really hard if you haven't journaled in this form, but this is kind of how I journal. Oh, they're only short descriptions, aren't
There
they? You got to
are.
keep it pretty lean. Sorry, everyone. I didn't realize that they were so short in there. Oh, well, that's a good thing. The cloud will look good.
Yay, a gym session.
Hey, did you write that?
No, it wasn't me.
All right. Well, lots of fitness. Drink more water.
Oh, work Christmas lunch. Who's got a
Who's
work
got a work
Christmas
Christmas lunch happening? How good.
That's me.
Ah.
Don't forget to stay honest.
Yes. Taking all your chips with me.
I hope so. I hope so. Good on you, Lyndall. So, guys, I guess this was a little mini 5-minute journal. Basically we reflected on what we're grateful for. We're reflecting on, what's going to make tomorrow great. So that template will be, I'll be putting that into people's inboxes so that, or we can share that through the cards. So that way you can do a little reflection. We'll actually put a card in that you can reflect on what made tomorrow great at the end of tomorrow. So very, very cool.
I like
Thank
the
you for
meeting
that.
with Karen and Robin's just come back in as well.
Oh, okay. Let's admit Robin back in. So Robin's back on the board. Very, very cool. So, that's the end of the quiz, is it? Okie dokie. Alrighty.
And I would like to say, full disclosure, I don't journal.
Yeah.
I am not good at journaling. I have tried many times. And I think for me, the reason I stop is I do feel
Screen, stop,
I do feel sometimes that it's an all or nothing. And if I miss a day, I get the guilt over missing a day. Probably the same as with, like I was saying, with those New Year's resolutions. If I miss a day, I feel that I've failed.
Yeah.
So I'm not very good then at picking the journal back up and going again.
I think to Katie's point about like getting someone to hold you accountable, but maybe go on the journey, that's probably a pretty good technique on that. Two things I've always heard when people either try to journal or try to meditate is, number one, I've got nothing to write, or I don't know what to put down on the page. So that's why the 5-minute journal is such a cool format that you can. It's pretty simple.
Has anybody used the 5-minute journal before? No.
So yeah, for me, so what I mean, maybe I'm a bit more of an advanced journaling nerd, but I actually have my own template. Like I actually do a gratitude type journal, and then I journal. I just pour my thoughts into a journal. So I probably spend 15-20 minutes a day journaling. So, but the 5-minute journal it's such an easy way and framework that you could even do it on your phone. Like it's just.
But you journal on the 4 Fs, 5 Fs?
Yes, the question that we asked before, I have the 4 Fs in me, which is fitness, finance, family, and friends, and me. So I kind of give myself a rating. I'm a real journaling nerd, but so if I haven't caught up with friends, and actually friends is probably the biggest one that suffers. It's interesting with how much I work. So, and it's just a matter of, I just out of 10 how I feel about it. Did I catch up with a friend today? No, I didn't. Did I phone them? No. So then if I've done enough ones in a row, I'm like, damn, I gotta reach out and catch up with some mates or some friends. So yeah. And then on the meditation thing, often with meditation, and I find it more with females than males, is that I got too much noise in my head. There's too much going on. I can't sit still. And that's where guided meditation is absolutely your friend. And if you do like a 5-minute guided meditation, there's some really great ones. Katie, we'll throw some in the card. You just put your headphones on, and for 5 minutes, it's almost like you're not left in silent space. And so basically you're taken on a bit of a journey. So is it really meditation? I'm sure if you ask a Buddhist monk, that they would say, well, you haven't been silent for 5 days and thought about your life. But it's not. But it's interesting that I think that it does slow your mindset down and get you, I guess, a little bit. It's just a bit of you time.
I did a chanting meditation once.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. So in West End, at the end of our street where we live, there's I think it's called the Australian School of Meditation and Yoga. And one night I went there with a friend, and it was a chanting meditation, and it really pushed me out of my comfort zone, because it was a huge group of people sitting around in a circle saying the same chant over and over again. And
Literally
once
same chant for an hour.
Exactly the same
Yeah,
chant
I was
over and over again. And it was once I actually got into it and let all my inhibitions go, thinking that everybody was staring at me, thinking that I was a bit strange, and actually nobody was staring at me. I got to the end of the hour and I realized that I hadn't thought of anything in that hour other than the meditation.
Yeah, it's interesting. So like chants like that. So I've done quite a few chants by myself, not chanting out loud, but chanting internally, and it's very cool. It's just that mindfulness. It's just 10 minutes of single mindfulness and just turning everything else off.
Journaling and reflection front, just a thought from me. I'm a bit of a talker, and so I don't
Really?
you wouldn't read about it, but I don't like to write any thoughts down. But something that I really enjoy is highs and lows, and it doesn't necessarily have to be lows, but for each day. When I used to live with my girlfriends, we used to do it every dinner, and I'm not nearly as good now. I'll do it probably once a week. But you say your high and your low of that day or that week. So
yes,
also like a high, so something good that happened, and then a low, less so like a negative thing that happened, but more so something you'll strive to achieve the next day. So little goals each day. And I really enjoy doing that because it kind of helps you check in with other people and realize where they're at. Even Scott, when you said, like, sometimes you realize you haven't seen your friends in a while, that might be a low, and then checking in again can be really helpful.
That's a really good example.
But yeah, using your words can be really helpful as well. So doing those little tiny things can be a cool little one if you want to try.
And certainly Yoga Nidra is your
Yoga
go-to
Nidra is my
at
go-to nighttime.
I'm not such a fan. Like, I'm Yoga Nidra, mate. I think too much with Yoga Nidra. For those who've not done Yoga Nidra, it's actually a body scan technique. So what they'll do, what the yogi will do, or the meditation, the coach will do, is basically they'll get you comfortable. Usually always starts with breathing, and breathing's always very cool. And there's loads of different breath strategies I'd talk to you about. Either you can breathe to fill your chest, breathe in and out hard, or you can breathe to fill your stomach. And if you've never done stomach breathing before, which is the norm, give that a go. It's very interesting, the different feeling between chest and breath, and chest and stomach. So, just take a few deep stomach breaths. That's kind of interesting. But Yoga Nidra, after usually some sort of visualization, then it'll actually work it's a body scan, basically. So usually often they'll get you to tense a part of your body and release as they go down your body. So pretty cool. And you can have them up to an hour long, or they can be 10 minutes, but and usually they'll play some pretty cool music. So you either just put the AirPods in.
And it's interesting because I have tried doing it with different people, guided, and there's certain voices that I can listen to and I can relax to, and then there's other voices that I can't even get there. So I need to find the right voice as well that puts me into that sleep. And I have found, and like, it's only a night, because I'm not a meditator either, it's only been nighttime that I've been doing it, and I do find that I am falling asleep before the meditation is over.
That's really cool. Yeah. So not for everyone, but we thought we'd do a little feature on it. The best meditation app I've used is Insight Timer, and it's got millions of meditations on there, a lot for free. I pay the $90 a year, I think, because I use it that much, because it's a lot of courses. But
there's also Calm. There's also Headspace.
There's a lot of them. I started with Headspace originally.
There's a lot on YouTube now as well.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily have to pay. That's important. But find one that works for you. But definitely find the meditation coach that works for you.
And I think the other thing as well, like, for a long time, my meditation was running. I would go into the forest or to somewhere like bushland, and I would go for a run through there, and that put me into
I mean, more
a
broadly,
state
it's
of relax.
mindfulness.
It's just mindfulness.
Single-mindedness on, and that's why, you know, most meditations, when they're teaching you to meditate, they'll teach you to focus on your breath, because it's just a super simple, easy thing to do to focus on your breath. When you do really focus on your breath and you're meditating, say, at an hour at a time, it is actually quite profound what happens after the noise does quieten and then you get into this routine. It's almost like, yeah, it's a bit of almost like an out of body experience sort of thing. It's a bit weird. It's like going into a dream state. It's bizarre to explain, but it's very difficult to get through that noise. And who's got an hour to sit there and breathe every day? But yeah, very, very cool fun. But yeah, so a couple of little techniques, I guess, to wrap that back up. We were talking about 2025 is coming quicker than we all know it. And it's just thinking about, okay, so Millie's popped a little body scan by John Kabat-Zinn. I don't know if I don't have to hear John's voice, which is really great. So that's a free YouTube one. Nice job, Millie. Thanks for that. Actually, we will dial that one in. I think we'll have a listen. So yeah, when it comes to 2025, when you're popping the champagne corks, which I'm sure is a treat meal that night, just have a think about maybe thematic setting goals, and don't necessarily go to those New Year's resolutions and be so focused, pinpoint focus, and hard on yourself. Like, give yourself a break. Reflective wise, the 5-minute journal, meditating, those sorts of things. But the 5-minute journal little template there, I'll pop into the nudge, and we can give that a go.
Yep.
It is a really simple technique, and it'd just be interesting to see. Try it for yourself. Do it for a few weeks and just go, how am I feeling about reflecting and in and out in your day and stuff like that. So you've made the comment time and time again, if I haven't journaled, because I don't, there's been periods where I haven't journaled, and and you're sort of like, okay, back to the journaling.
Time to go back.
Very cool.
Amazing.
All right.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Job done. Is there any last questions? Anyone got any wanted to drop into the chat? We hope we've helped, and with the Christmas parties coming up and the New Year's resolution setting, and a bit of reflection is what it's all about. This consult. So any questions? Hopefully the quiz was good. It seemed to work. I think everyone actually was able to get on and interact. So
sounds good.
if you do PowerPoints and you want interactive presentations in your quiz, I can definitely recommend that one. It worked out okay. It's called what is it called? Mentimeter. So that's an interesting one. So if you do presentations and you want people to tell you how good you are while you're presenting, that's a pretty good one. So yeah, and free. So there you go. Well, I got paid plans for that.
Yeah.
Coolio. All right, team.
Amazing.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Good luck
you.
this week.
Thanks, Scott.
We'll
Thanks,
see you
Karen.
soon.
Thanks,
no
Katie.
problem.
Thanks,
See
everyone.
ya.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Thank
You
you.
too, Millie.
Bye-bye.
Mhm.